up in H-Town looking for some money. So I tell you where to go. Where you better go to Sheep, Happy Hat. Where you better go to Sheep, Happy Hat. Call 281-318-4936 and we gon' make you a happy chick. Where you better go to Sheep, Happy Hat. Where you better go to Sheep, Happy Hat. Yeah, look at you want the style you need. Wave not to wave and it's tank free. CEO 5. See what we got. Go on Google, type in CEO 5, and the first thing pop up is high-profile CEO terminations include Uncle Nearest founder Fawn Weaver and ViaQuest Rich Johnson. I don't know who Rich Johnson is, but I've been trying to read up on this Weaver lately. Weaver was fired by a court-appointed receiver in June, amid $200 million in debt and ongoing legal battles. That's the Business Journal. This is the Columbus Business Journal. Now, the Business Journal, I believe, let's see, let me look it up. Let's see. I don't really use Google like I used to. Business Journal. National. I'm looking up the foundation of the Business Journal. Let's see. When you type in CEO fired on Google, the first thing that pop up is this Business Journal article where they're talking about fired CEOs and CFOs and embezzlement, and Uncle Nearest CEO Fawn Weaver being fired from the company. This is July 14th, 2026. Oh, it's paywall. So what we got? Oh, 5 hours ago. Yahoo Finance. Uncle Nearest CEO Fawn Weaver fired from the company. Fired from the company and ongoing battles, $200 million. Okay, that's the number. Signed a non-binding letter of intent to sell substantially all assets. So the receiver fired Weaver. Okay, so she's happy here. If we get a third-party receiver, which is probably going to happen eventually, then once they do the audit on everything, they're probably going to fire the executives that they can see accountable. According to federal records filed July 10th, the receiver fired Weaver and her husband, Keith Weaver, a co-founder of Uncle Nearest. Okay, so the husband and wife team were co-founders of Uncle Nearest. They probably had a couple more people on the board. Their termination was backdated to June 1st, according to the filing. While the decision was not made lightly, it has resulted in significantly less confusion among employees and vendors. Because what happens is when you go through these executive disputes, the vendors get confused, the employees get confused, the community get confused. and has made business operations significantly smoother, the filing said. What's happened to Uncle Nearest and what's to come? In a 19-page court filing, the attorney for the receiver noted all tasks they'd accomplished and what they have yet to do. It was an exceedingly challenging quarter, court records said. Excessive litigation. Man, that's kind of like what we're going through, man. Excessive litigation. Despite the challenges, the receiver moved forward with the sale of the company's property on Martha's Vineyard for $2.59 million. Identified a buyer for the vineyards in France and is negotiating a purchase agreement for the sale of the core business assets, court records said. Okay, so they are selling the company. So yeah, Fawn Weaver is fired. That's let's see. See what they got on Wikipedia. It says born September 5th, 1976, an American entrepreneur and author who held the position of CEO at Grant Sydney Incorporated. In 2017, we've co-founded Uncle Nearest Premium Whiskey, where she served as CEO until June 1st, 2026. Dang, they already updated the Wikipedia. Man, let me see what my Wikipedia say, man. Check my Wikipedia name. I ain't got no. Ain't got your phone here. Oh man, I ain't done enough. So you gotta create one. Cool. Her dad was a Motown recording artist. Okay. Career brand expanded to 12 countries. I've actually had some Uncle Nearest whiskey. Shout out to them, man. I've been paying attention to them because we've been going through some of those like or similar things within my brands. So
Weaver started the company in 2017 to honor the enslaved man who taught Jack Daniels to distill Tennessee whiskey. After a meeting rise, Uncle Nearest was sued in 2012. Financial woes, the former chief financial officer, Receiver himself. National jury found former Tennessee Titans scout Blaze Taylor guilty of first-degree murder. Taylor was accused of placing the mother of his unborn child in February 2023. Jay Bennett is 6 months pregnant. Taylor previously told her he was not interested in raising a child. Bennett's decision to call his best friend as the drug set in.
Who cares? Uncle Nearest. Okay, what is this from Uncle Nearest Premium Whiskey founder, Vaughn Weaver, the husband, co-founder, blah, blah, blah. Now I say $100 million in debt, not the two. Okay. Company CFO Michael Sinzaki departed well before the founder's termination in late 2025. Vaughn and Keith Weaver filed a civil lawsuit against Sinzaki, accusing him of unauthorized redirection of funds, altering invoices, and concealing liabilities while exercising exclusive control over the company's financial systems. I got a $200 million debt again. Let's see what the people saying, man. Who's favorite Lewis? Let's see. Well, the decision was not made like, yeah, that's what the receiver said. So, the Atlanta Black Star. Wherever we thrive, know someone's watching to undo what we built from the inside and the outside. Not surprised they never let a black woman dominate the Tennessee whiskey industry. What happened? Not surprised. Vaughn Weaver is officially out as CEO of Uncle Nearest, according to newly filed court documents. Court-appointed receiver overseeing the premium whiskey company terminated Weaver's employment, along with the role of her husband. The leadership shakeup comes as Uncle Nearest navigates an ongoing legal battle tied more than $100 million for the receiver. Also revealed that a forensic investigation, that's what we need. We need a forensic audit to happen ASAP. That's underway and could result in legal claims against Vaughn Weaver, Keith Weaver, former CFO Michael Sinzaki, or related entities. However, no claims have been filed and the investigation remains ongoing. People say, okay, people, one of the most important things you should learn in the workforce is when you're being set up for a takedown. Signs are always there. Open your eyes. I should have opened my eyes a long time ago. You're being set up for a takedown. So there's definitely financial shenanigans. There's no setup here. They haven't filed taxes in 8 years. Man, we haven't filed taxes in about 2-3 years. You know what I'm saying? It says that Uncle Nearest hasn't filed taxes in 8 years and have not paid their loans. Then they hid a loan they received from Jay-Z's venture capital firm. I think that's $20 million, and that got him involved. Doesn't mean Vaughn and Keith weren't important figures in the spiritual world. They're very much appreciated. Somebody said an alcohol version of the turkey leg hut. That's funny. Now, this is when Oprah Winfrey, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Magic Johnson, or Tyler Perry need to step in and purchase the company to keep it Black owned. Uncle Nearest is bigger than Fawn Weaver. Don't make it about her. So Uncle Nearest was the person that created, or kind of put his stamp on the whole whiskey side of things. Now I know that there's some whiskeys that we all kind of know branded. And something about Tennessee and whiskey too, but so they say this is a real definition of fumbling the bag. Now, if you are the CEO and you are being terminated, would you suggest at least partial ownership, or would you just let the company die down? I definitely wouldn't let the company die down. Let's see. The biggest just like Pinky and Slutty Vegan. Pinky and Slutty Vegan. I've been a Slutty Vegan out there in ATL. Let's see. I ain't reading the ones with no likes, man. Somebody said, I hope this isn't true, but it's a business, and sometimes you have to do what's best for the brand and the company. I love her story. I love her and the story, but negative attention can kill a company, even if there's some truth. Maybe she does not. She does need to take a step back for a minute. She's a big picture businesswoman. Let's see if we posted about Black Wall Street. Oh, we ain't post nothing about our canoes, man. Carmelo Anthony.
You are looking at a film.
Buccaneers founder Fawn Weaver and her husband Keith Weaver have been terminated. Court filings indicate Buccaneers have been controlled by the receivers since 2025. Young has reportedly reached a non-binding agreement with a potential buyer. Hopefully it lands in good hands and remains black-owned, said James Hill. I'm sorry, but folks like me and Cinnabourbon, who are actually in the space, called for this over a year, only to be called haters. Even after everything we said is proven true, these comments really speak to the bigger issue of always assuming when it's us, there has to be more to the story. She fumbled the bag and the brand. That's the story. Man, I'm trying to prevent that from being my story. You know what I'm saying? You had deeper insight, and that's fine, but there's nothing inherently wrong with giving one another the benefit of the doubt when it comes to these situations. You wanted that same trust. After all, end of the day, we want more of us at the top. Keep pushing. One take. Let's see, man. It seemed like he had some insight or something. This comment screamed nothing, but you are not in the urban space. This is the point. Buccaneers should have been the focus. Instead, she wanted to be in the spotlight. This is the result. You can make up whatever scenario to take up for her, but as a black woman in a predominantly white male ran space, she knew full well what she signed up for. Now you want to give her a pass of what she built. She essentially destroyed a legacy, period. The reason why I'm so into this particular story is because it's something I'm living in the moment. You know what I'm saying? Living it in the moment. This is why people need to learn the difference between CEO and owner. CEOs can get replaced. Ownership, 51% overrides everything. Debt overtakes ownership. Debt overtakes ownership. When you owe people, you know what I'm saying? You can't call yourself the CEO no more. At least it's a black investment group that may buy the company. Also, the administration pissed off other countries like Canada that now bans American whiskey brands, so sales are down. Plus, Gen Z kids don't drink alcohol as much, and it's show not drinking whiskey. CFO cooked the books and was getting loans the company couldn't pay back. I said the CFO cooked the books and was getting loans the company couldn't pay back. Man, how do you cook books? I want to know. I want to put the fire out. I need to be there with the extinguisher to make sure they're not trying to cook She's Happy books. Weavers hopefully would be part of the new investment group. That is the best that could happen for now. Experience tells me that if Fawn was a black man, these comments would be a lot more empathetic and encouraging. Somebody said, I don't know the whole story, but something sounds very fishy to me. Again, man, it's somebody said if she's unable to buy it back, we as supporters to the brand because of its founders should never purchase again. Force them to change the name and branding to sustain it and wait for her to roll out a new product that we then support. Our dollars are the reason for its success. Pull the rug on the big bank. So yeah, anytime a CEO gets fired and it's high profile, I'm gonna probably dive into it and see why, because I can't wait to read when certain CEOs are out of position to no longer run the companies into the dirt, if that is the case. Look at that stream, man.